It is 10:45. And it is this one was really cool. When this came across our bow, we were like, "Yeah, let's go ahead and I want to find out about this." So we go and catch up with the CEO of the Field of Dreams Academy, Terry Johnson. Find out what is going on at FOD. Terry, good to see you, my friend. Thanks for crashing the show here on a very, very busy day for you and a very, very busy Friday in general.
Well, good morning, John. First of all, thank you for having me, and I'm excited to join you guys. And let's get into it.
All right. Well, and what I wanted to do was turn this into, yes, I wanted to talk about the news about the cool stuff that is happening with FIFA, but what I also wanted to do is educate our audience about the Field of Dreams Academy. And not a lot of folks know about it. And I didn't know that there was another vowel added into the program because I'm used to seeing STEM schools, but you're a STEAM school. And I was like, okay, I'm not used to seeing that A in there. For those that may not know about the Field of Dreams Academy, break it down as to where it is in the community and what you're trying to accomplish with Field of Dreams Academy.
Thank you so much. So the Field of Dreams Academy, we are an out-of-school enrichment program. So we're connected with Atlanta Public School System, DeKalb County Schools, Clayton County, and Fulton County, where we provide after-school and out-of-school enrichment programs that deal in academics, athletics, and leadership development. So for us, our feeder is we deal in STEAM. You're absolutely correct, around the traditional science, technology, engineering, robotic programs, from first robotics to auto racing with soapbox derby, to mechanical bots, to gaming and coding, to traditional science, research science, physical science, from physics to chemistry. We provide those enrichment programs to those schools and help elevate to the next level. So for their advanced programming, your AP class or your academy programs that are within those districts, we're the supplement provider for them. And we've been doing that for 21 years. On top of that, we offer athletic programming. So for us, our athletic programming focuses on teaching the fundamentals of the game, but elevating and putting those student athletes in a position to go to the next level. Our core sports are soccer, baseball, softball, volleyball, lacrosse. I mentioned to you auto racing, and people go auto racing. So again, the soapbox derby, building, that's a STEM piece too. Go-karting are our core items. So imagine now a parent saying, I want my son and daughter to understand the game of lacrosse. We do that, but we go, it is a STEM-based sports. Let's talk about the science behind what it takes to participate and to be an elite lacrosse athlete. The same for science and baseball. So for us, what we do is in the metro Atlanta area, we're based out of the west side of Atlanta, and near our great partner, Georgia Tech, and also Morehouse College. We have access to their campus. So we do also a part of our leadership where we tell our students, imagine yourself going to college. You're on this college campus. Imagine going to be on Georgia Tech's campus and you're in the classroom and you're learning STEM education, but now you also have access to the athletic field where we do our soccer program. The same thing at Morehouse College and Clark Atlanta, our other partners. So for us, it really is about the exposure of elevating those young athletes and students that we work with, understanding the importance of education and athletics, and marrying it to them becoming leaders in their community. We've been doing that for about 21 years now.
From the first day that you walked in the door, can you think off the top of your head, or just a round number, of how many young people have come in that you've influenced and helped them with their way and guided them to whatever their path is coming out of the Field of Dreams? Do you have any kind of numbers or ideas how many folks you've touched?
Yeah, so when we were celebrating our 20-year anniversary last year, we pulled all the research data and looked at it. We've touched over 10,000 youth in our programming in that time frame. And the story behind it that I share quickly is this was born out of me being a father of four. So I'm also the founder of the organization. So I was married, 4 boys, heavily into athletics. And I was telling my wife at the time, you know what? I want to do something bigger than just be a coach, because I realized I have a privilege in being in these young men and young women's lives. And I don't want to just be one who wrote a check supporting organizations. I want a big impact. So we started the Field of Dreams Academy. So it was really about taking sports and then education, because of our background, And that's how we kind of build the organization over the years. So for us, we're really excited. And, I've got the stories, and we can get into it, of the number of professional athletes that have come through our program they're making their impact today, but also the number of young men and women who are principals, who are, entrepreneurs, who are lawyers and doctors who come through our program because of what we offer. So we're really excited about not only what the Global Citizen and FIBA organizations said, hey, you're doing great impact in the community. We want to support you, but it's going to allow us to even elevate our programs even more.
All right, let me get into the FIFA element of this. The FIFA Global Citizen Education Fund, and you're a part of the inaugural class,
Yes.
however you wish to phrase it. You're school is open, and you're part of that first graduating class that's there. How did all of this come to be? Who was like? Who was scanning and sat there and was like, oh, let's go there? How did this come to pass?
Great question. So for us, our program director, Miss Eli, and she's out of the office today, I would have had to join us, but she was doing the research on grant opportunities, and based on what we were doing in the community, it came across through our national grant database that we have, that they were looking to do this grant program, but there was a very specific profile that they were looking for as far as nonprofits that they wanted to engage. And when she did the checklist, she says, hey, we qualify, we meet this, and we really should go after this. So we came together collectively, my program director, my academic counselors, some of my parents who've been with us, and says, okay, how can we really make sure we tell our story, we provide the right documentations, and then make sure that they see what we're doing, and we can take advantage of this enormous opportunity that's before us. So that's how we did it. So strategically, it was a team. We went through it. We kept going back and forth, and we kept saying, you know what? As we kept pulling the data out that we pulled from that they were asking for our programming, it was like, this makes sense. This is a huge opportunity for us. So we got even more excited as we got through the process.
Montemecco Eli, the program director, is who Terry is referencing in all of this. So what does it, I guess, what were the parameters going in? What were the guidelines? It's like, okay, FIFA said, okay, if you apply for this grant, that means that you have to apply it to A, B, C, D, E. Or did they just sit there and say, okay, here, you're a part of the grant program. We've got a loose structure. As long as you fit inside that loose structure with the grant, then everything's cool. What did they allow you to chase in the application process, and how does that help you now that you're on the other side?
So what they really were looking at, two things that really stood out. Mm-hmm. Understand, tell us what you're doing with the power of sport, and then also how are you using sport to elevate education among the youth. Show us what milestones and achievements that you've accomplished, but more important, what do you see moving forward within the next 3 to 5 years, and how we can have that impact. So for us, we're built around the power of sport. I mentioned to you that for us, we deal in academic, athletic, and leadership enrichment, but they all are intertwined. So for us, it was like the power of sport. We've always used sport as our conduit. Every parent thinks their child is that next superstar. So we go, okay, that's great. And we have programming based on our relationships with the U.S. Soccer Foundation, U.S. Lacrosse, those organizations that support what we're doing. So we understand the importance of the power of sports, Lourdes USA, and that we get that. But then on the education side, it was like understanding where education is not only in your community, but from a global perspective. And we look at STEAM and the way that we present our STEAM programming from a global perspective. We all talk about the power of AI and how it's manipulating today, understanding technology from a coding standpoint. Robotics are in manufacturing. So for us, what we were doing aligned specifically what they were looking for. So it was like, hey, how you use the power of sport and how are you elevating education, and can it have an impact more than just in your community, but from a regional and a global perspective? And we answered that with an astounding yes, and that's how we presented ourselves to the organization.
And for those that may not know the acronym, when it comes to, you'll see STEM programs, and with Field of Dreams, it's a STEAM program. It's science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And so that the A was something that I haven't seen with academies and such. I'm used to STEM schools and STEM programs. I had never seen a STEAM program and a STEAM school. Just how did the A turn STEM into STEAM? How did that come to pass?
So great question. So what we found was while parents were gravitating to the STEAM that we were doing, the STEM that we were doing, it was not every kid wanted to be in the sport. They wanted to be parts of it. But then we start finding a number of students who were artists. And when I use the word artist, not only from a visual or media piece, where we were dealing in photography and videography, but also the medias of paint and all that, but also public speaking and music. So for us, it was like, if we're going to have a greater impact, we've got to add the arts, because every kid does not want the athletics, and every kid may not be successful in the science and the math. But if we can show them that they are components that are incorporated from the art perspective, then we still have that aha moment. And that's about how we incorporate it, and that's how we engage our students.
Yeah, you mentioned the next superstar, and superstar can mean a bunch of different things. It can mean that professional athlete that has looped back, that has remembered their time with you at Field of Dreams, and now they loop back and they continue to be a part of your orbit there. You can be a superstar in business. You can be a superstar in art. You can be a superstar technology, engineering, all of these different things. And so that term superstar, while we associate it with sports, it goes across all of those strata with what you're doing there at Field of Dreams. What's it like when you have someone go through the program and then they turn into a young adult, a young professional, and are successful, however you want to use that word, and then they come back and visit? What's it like to have them come back and rub off on successive classes there at Field of Dreams?
I turn into a big teddy bear. And I say that, and I get full as we're sharing now, John. I'll give you two quick stories, and you can understand why. So currently on my board, there's a young man. His name is Bobby Kennedy. Bobby is a financial analyst with Invesco. He started in our baseball program at the age of 11. Bobby talked to me about wanting to play baseball at the next level, and his aspirations was playing collegiate and maybe pro. And he played with my oldest son. So they played baseball through our program. Bobby's was successful. He went on to play in high school, had a great high school career. He transferred over to Morehouse College, the school I also graduated from, and I had a little influence there. So you'll see where I'm building on it. And upon his graduation, he would always come back and help with the baseball program as a coach for some of our clinics. But upon graduation, day one, he says, Coach Terry, no matter how old I get or they get, or I'm still Coach Terry, I want to be a part of Field of Dreams. You had such a great influence on me. And I was like, okay, great. So he came in and he says, I'm not working right now, just graduated. He became an intern. So he interned for us, and it happened right before COVID hit. So perfect timing. He worked for us about 2 years, and he was very instrumental in us understanding that bridge you talk about of going through the program and coming back. Did a great job of reconnected even more what we call that younger generation. So impressed that our board, when he did get a job, we sent him off. We were very happy based on one of our parents who worked at Invesco, made that connection. Our board was so impressed with the work that he done. He was our first young board of directors. So he's been on the board now for 2 years. And his story was, this organization helped me become a better person. Not only just an athlete, but a better person. So I get full about that story of, now I've got this young man who's going through it. Now he sits on our board. So he believes in the mission and vision because he lived it. I've got another young man. His name is Daniel Price. Daniel is a teacher, elementary school teacher, teaches science and math. He's about 6'3", very towering, but he's a big old teddy bear also. So he started their baseball program 2 years ago, and he was having a hard time. He called me one day, same thing. He says, Coach, I need you. I said, what's going on? I said, what's going on with the science program? We just built a lab. He said, no. I need you on my athletic side. Yeah, you helped me with my science programs. We're great. I'm doing baseball, and I can't do it with these young kids. I was like, I'm there. So I was his assistant coach. So, and so I'm sitting there, and everything, the commands of teaching, the leadership piece, he's replicating it word by word. It's almost like a mirror. And I'm doing one of the games, and one of the kids, the little fourth grader, because they're third, this is what we call the rookie league. They're like, Coach Terry, why are you crying? I'm going, because that's me right there talking to you guys. So, having a kid that says, I want you to be a part of something, on the educational side. So I've got this person in corporate America who's doing well, that's in our leadership. Another one that's in education, that's having an influence of the next generation, specifically in science when we talk about that. And then also using athletics. Those are the stories that I have, for outside of professional athletes. I'll share with you the names of Lawrence Butler, who's with the Oakland A's, Chandler Simpson, who plays with the Tampa Bay Rays, Mark Churches with the Texas Rangers. All those young men who are Major League Baseball players played in our organization. So the impact, yeah, we talk about it and people like that story, but I really love the piece of those young men and women who are making a difference in the community.
And thank you for saying Oakland, the Oakland A's, because
I know he goes, Coach, we're Las Vegas. I said, I grew up as Oakland, and until you move into the new facility, you're still not.
I am down with that. I'm right there with you. Terry Johnson, Executive Director, Founder, CEO of something really, really cool that came across our bow that we couldn't resist talking to him about, the Field of Dreams Academy. So now that you are part of this first graduating class of the FIFA Global Citizen Education Fund, I know that you have things that you want to accomplish over the next 3 to 5 years. How will this connection with FIFA help in that? I know, obviously, yes, you have the normal grant process that is this churning beast that is 24/7, 365 on a year-to-year basis. But now with FIFA attached, how will the Global Citizen Education Fund help you out going forward?
That's a great question. And my response is, I think it gives us credibility. You would think 20 years of providing programming service would do it. But just think about the name of FIFA and their impact globally, what the Global Citizens organization does. Those two together and what they've created, it allows us to open up doors that might have been closed to us. And to like today, this conversation with you is what we find an honor, because we can tell our story even more, and it gets us on another platform where people go, huh, that's interesting. Wow, I would love for my son or daughter to be a part of it, or grantor saying, you know what, I see their vision, I understand it, we want to support them. So for us, it opens up doors that were not available to us before, or might have been closed. It says, wait a minute, you might not have thought of the value, but they support us. Now we can have a greater impact in our, what we're doing in our community. We can also share that where it's a ripple effect. I'm an old guy. I always remember the days of hanging out with my friends in the summers and we're throwing rocks in the pond, who can make the biggest ripple effect. Mm-hmm. So for us, this is a ripple effect that they're dropping to us. It says, we believe in them. Now look what we're able to do long-term. So that's what we look for, and why we're so excited about why they believe in us and giving us this opportunity to be a part of this phenomenal program.
And at the same time, making sure that when you take that rock and you go across the pond with it, that you've got the angle right, so you're not just making that one ripple. You're hitting all the different zones as you figure out how far that stone can go when it comes to throwing it across the pond. All right, if you would please, let everybody know how they can find out more information about the Academy, about what you're doing, all of the things. Let everybody know. How do they do it?
Thank you. So our website is fieldofdreamsacademy.org. Our office number is area code 404-583-4041 directly. My name is Terry Johnson. My email address is terry.johnson@fieldofdreams.org. Our social media is Field of Dreams ACA, so Field of Dreams, and then ACA, an abbreviation for Academy. We're on IG, also on X and Facebook. We put out our programming, what we do monthly and quarterly. John, 90% of our program is free of charge. Also, I want to mention that. So when you talk about the investment, what we ask our families and our kids, your investment of time and commitment. So what this grant would also allow us to do is to provide that access to those families even more. So a lot of times they think, well, I don't have the financial resources. This allows us to provide our programming free of charge. So when we talk about that, again, that rock across the pond, you can understand what I'm saying, with the ripple effect is even greater. So we're truly grateful for their support and their belief in what we're doing.
Educate, expose, and endow opportunities to youth from underrepresented communities here based in the Atlanta area. Terry, I can't thank you enough for wrapping up our full week of everything here on the morning show and letting everybody know about this. Congratulations on the contact with FIFA and being a part of their first graduating class when it comes to the Global Citizen Education Fund. Congratulations, my friend, and we will catch up with you soon. Don't be a stranger. Keep us posted on everything you're doing over there.
I will do. And again, it's been a pleasure meeting you and having this conversation today. And thank you. And thank you to your audience for listening. You have a great day. Okay.
Be good, sir. That's Terry Johnson. And that was good. That was really cool.